Be Mike in Little Rock, Arkansas. Are you there?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Hi.
Yeah, my question is about the lead up to, I guess, a potential Richard Dawkins, William Lane Craig debate. I don't know a whole lot about this. The only thing that I've seen was one time that Richard Dawkins was asked, why don't you debate William Lane Craig if he's known, as being the best, and you're kind of one of the most known for the other side? Shouldn't we have the best go up against the best and have a debate? Why won't you debate him? And on that video, he gave four reasons. The first one was that William Lane Craig was not a bishop, cardinal, pope, or archbishop, but he's debated other people who weren't also. He said that he was a creationist, but he's debated other creationists. And he said that his only claim to fame is that he's a professional debater, which is far from true. He's an excellent debater, but he's a double PhD. He's been a professor for over 30 years, over 30 books. He gets published in secular journals. And then the other one, the last one, was, he said, well, I'm too busy, which, of course, if you're debating other people, it's hard to make that argument. But I was wondering if you knew.
Well, Richard Dawkins has been burned a number of times. Do you want to?
I don't really necessarily. I think that Richard Dawkins is an excellent writer, and I think he's good in solo presentations. I've heard a number of discussions with him where he sort of frustrated me by not going where I would go. I wouldn't want to over-elevate Richard Dawkins as like the best possible person to be out there. And I've heard William Lane Craig go on debates, and he's extremely full of shit and really good at it.
By the way, there are folks in the Atheist Community of Austin, I think Russell would be one of them, who would be willing to debate William Lane Craig. And so, we're not shy. We'll do it.
But yeah, I'm
what are
interested in
Russell's
that sort of
credentials?
What?
Well, what are Russell's credentials?
I'm about as qualified in science as William Lane Craig is.
You got two
Those
PhDs?
are my. What are his PhDs in?
Math and philosophy. It's about religion. It's a debate about
right.
God.
So as I said, I'm about as qualified to talk about science as William Lane Craig is.
And so,
but we know as much about theology as he does. So,
right. So I'm not particularly interested in the point about what two champions would best represent us. Do you have a particular thing that William Lane Craig says that you think is a particularly strong demonstration of the existence of God?
Assuming that's the topic, right?
Yeah. No, it's not really. I just called to see why. I guess my question was why. Not if Richard Dawkins, do you personally believe that he is the best person to represent the atheist community? I'd probably acknowledge that too, but the question is why is he avoiding him and then giving false reasons why?
Well, I don't know or care much. You'd have to talk to Richard Dawkins' PR guy. Or Richard Dawkins.
I think that a lot of these debates that I've seen have been very, very frustrating because they seem to be won or lost or played based on rhetorical games rather than facts and proper debate techniques.
Right.
And that's just super frustrating to me.
I've actually written extensively about creationism debates on the Atheist Experience blog, and I think a lot of things happen frequently that more experienced debaters ought not to fall for. For instance, the topic is frequently very loaded in one direction.
Or changed at the last minute. They play games like that.
Right, changed at the last minute. There was a debate we saw between Michael Shermer and a couple of other guys where Michael Shermer got about 20 minutes to speak and the two other guys collectively got like an hour-long PowerPoint presentation between them. And I think that a lot of times these debates do wind up being sucker games. And need to be set up very, very carefully in advance because it always seems to be the religious people who are setting the venue and deciding on the topic. So I would be interested in a Dawkins-Craig debate, but I think that it would be a good idea for the terms of the debate to be really carefully defined ahead of time.
Yeah, no, and I definitely what you say could definitely be true as far as, setting up a, like a dishonest debate, and of course I'd be against that. Now, my call was about William Lane Craig. Do you have any reason to believe that he has done this in the past?
That who? William Lane Craig?
Mm-hmm.
I wrote about. I mean, I've listened to a bunch of these debates, and they all kind of blur together. But I do specifically remember listening to a William Lane Craig debate and writing about it on the blog. So you'd have to track that down. And
Atheist Experience .blogspot.com.
Right, and search for William Lane Craig, and email us at tv@atheist-community.org if you have more comments about that afterwards.
Okay, thank you.